All right, guys, last one. So here we're just going to quickly, essentially just copy and paste our response into our discussion group. So several of you guys have already responded to the discussion group following our directions to respond, well, Miss Shump's directions, with a yeah, girl, letting us know that you had received your subscription to New York Times. So thank you for going through with that. So essentially, this should look familiar. But all you're going to go ahead and do is in our discussion group, so go ahead and select a new topic, and you'll see that you're now going to be posting as yourself. So here in the subject line, you're just going to go back to your response document, and you're going to copy and paste the title, which is adequately titled subject line here, just to remind you guys. So that would be what you would be copying first here. And then in the actual dialog box down here, you want to make sure that you copy the entire topic introduction and question. So that would be at the top of your post. And underneath that is where you would actually end up copying your entire response. Okay, and we're talking the entire response. So if you wanted to make this a little bit different, just so that we know and we can easily see the difference, that's perfectly okay. Just want to italicize or something simple like that, and then have your response be non-italicized, just so we can see a clear difference. Okay? And then you want to make sure that you always double check for spelling and grammar, because you do know that other people are going to be reading this as they're going to have to respond. Make sure that it says start a discussion, and then other than that, you are free to go ahead and actually post it. And then we will have clear evidence if you haven't completed each of these. So just make sure that you are taking consideration the due dates. So as I said, the first one is due June 19th. So we're going to be looking at discussion group as well as your documents to make sure that you are doing these. Because remember, they need to not only be here on this document, but they also need to show up on the discussion group. So make sure that you don't just put your answers here. You want to make sure that you're copying and pasting them into the discussion group. And then for the following week, you have, excuse me, not the following week, in subsequent weeks, the 26th of June is when you need to make sure that you have replied to someone else's. And again, this is going to be done in discussion group as well as on this document here. Okay, so we want to have clear evidence if you have completed things on both the document as well as in the discussion group. Alrighty, so that about sums it up. If you have any additional questions, feel free to go ahead and text, excuse me, feel free to go ahead and email us. And just one last thing I wanted to point out. If you are on Twitter, the New York Times does have obviously a lot of different Twitter handles, but they actually do have one for the New York Times Summer Reading Contest, which is Category 2, which I will be talking about in subsequent screencasts. But I just wanted to throw it out there now for those of you who are on Twitter, because that is going to be starting June 12th, which for me is tomorrow. So if you are on Twitter, it'd be really easy for you guys to go ahead and search for the New York Times Summer Reading Contest to find that handle. You can actually get updates via Twitter from them. Alrighty?